Hello everyone, Perry Vincent at Belize Properties and Real Estate. We're going to take you around some parts of Belize now. Right now we're in Cayo, which is the southwestern district of Belize. And this is San Ignacio. It's the largest town in Cayo. It's twinned with Senalana, which is across the river. It's basically one large town divided by a river. So we'll take a look at both of those areas. We'll also take a look at things like Garifuna culture. We'll take a look at Mayan ruins, that kind of thing, all in Cayo. But for now, we're at the market in San Ignacio, and it's Tuesday, it's market day, and today is one of the days when they have everything fresh. It's all fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, literally farmers just bring it in today to sell. This is not as busy as Saturday, which is the other main market day. It's much more packed. So this is the day to come actually. If you just want to come have a look around and get some extremely good food, Tuesday's the day to do it, okay? So let's take a look around Cayo and particularly San Ignacio. So, here at the market, you will find many fruits and vegetables that you've seen before, but you'll also find stuff you've never seen. I mean, I've done a fair bit of traveling, and I'm more than 50 years old, so I have seen a lot of different fruits and vegetables, but I've never seen this stuff. It's called cravu. Apparently it's really nice to eat. I've seen this being sold on roadsides. I've never really had the guts, frankly, to buy it from someone on the roadside, but they sell it here. And apparently it really is delicious, and it's native to Belize. So we've got a seller here.
To sell it for $2.
$2, okay.
It's a nice fruit and sweet.
It's sweet.
Only this time from August, the fruit they also collect on the bush.
Okay.
Yeah, this good for making juice and ideal is garden.
Excellent.
This very nice.
Okay. Thank you very much. And that's $2, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I'll buy this, and probably I'll buy some more stuff, but in a second. So that's the other thing. That's $2. Now, when we say $2, that's $2 Belize, $1 US. These markets really are really good value for money. They've honestly, and this is all fresh fruit, as he was just saying, that they just pick these from the bushes and sell them in the markets. So this is one of the few places now, I think, where you can genuinely get good, fresh fruit for an extremely good price. So today I'll be trying cravu. I'll let you know how I get on. So listen, when we say there's a mix of cultures here, it really is true. It's Mayan culture, Belizean culture, Creole culture, and even we have here behind me, I don't want to draw too much attention to myself, but these are Mennonites. There's a massive Mennonite community here. Living in Belize. They've been here for generations. In fact, they produce a lot of the food and a lot of the meat for the Belizean market. So it's a really good blend of lots of cultures. And you can't even see the difference between the cultures, the way they interact. They interact so smoothly that you would think they were just one country full of just one culture. But there is at least 4 or 5 different cultures, all lived here for generations and all get on perfectly well. It's just fantastic to see. So again, if you just sort of scan your eyes around the market, you really will see a ton of different fruits and vegetables. Stuff like apples that we see everywhere, but the bananas that are grown here, fruit that is literally native to Belize, all grown and sold here. Obviously coconuts, papaya, sweet potato, just all kinds of things. But what you might also notice is that the market is really clean. Just take a look back behind me and just look around. It's really clean. I've traveled quite a lot of Central American countries and frankly European countries. The markets aren't anywhere near as clean as this. So people get the idea that Belize is almost like a third world country. It's not at all, it really isn't. It's very well civilized, and they understand the need for cleanliness, and it's something that you do see across the country. I'm not saying there's no litter, but it's certainly something they're aware of. And they do take care of the country and places like the market. So it's something that might surprise you when you come here.
Oh, one and all, my name is Benson. I'm so glad to be here.
Your name is Vincent?
Yeah.
And it's my name?
Benson with a B.
Oh, Benson. Okay, close.
Cheers. This is what I do for a living, promoting a part of Belize. Normally I do bigger ones, but I just do it like artist perspective, share the talent. To the back here, it says my name, Benson, promoting
cool.
Belize. I use the brown parts to do it besides a hacksaw blade. And I'm glad to meet people, share a conversation. Cheers for the video. In the future, type up Benson Crawford, you get to see me on Facebook. I'm not really a Facebook guy, but as an artist perspective, in life, it's like so seen for us right now. So every support you get in the future, it will be well appreciated. And I'm
Okay.
even though
Let me buy. What's this one?
this has a 20 Belize, I give for 15 Belize. I take $5 off my profit.
Okay, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Some people pay up to 10 US, so you get a fair exchange.
Okay. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Respect.
Cheers. Okay. So you might have seen that transaction there. That was Benson selling some stones that he does stone carving. When you travel around Central America, and particularly if you're a tourist in Europe, you're going to get scammed. Just get used to that idea. You know, you're going to go through Paris. Someone's going to sell you this unique carving of the Eiffel Tower. It's not unique, and he didn't carve it. And you know, seriously, he'll sell it for sort of $30. He picked it up from China, from Taiwan. You know, shipped in by Amazon. You got it for $2. So there are scams. Here, it's not like that. It really isn't. When they say this is hand carved, it is, and it is carved by them. Those stones that you saw, I'm not sure if you saw them, they really were hand carved by him. So that means that when they quote a price, they will barter with you, they will bargain, and you can do that. But don't barter too much, because this genuinely is their life, their living, their livelihood. So I think they price things up slightly higher for tourists, but not much higher. The prices are pretty good. So while you can barter and you can knock the price down a little bit, don't make a sport of getting things as cheap as possible. Because if you do that, you're only taking money from people's pockets that they need, really. Okay? So just a little tip there. Very few scammers here. In fact, I haven't met one. I've been here for months and I haven't met one. I honestly haven't. I know the guys that do the carving in the town I live. They literally do spend hours and hours hand carving before they sell their products. And you get it for $10, $15. You know, it's a low hourly rate. That's why I personally don't knock people down very much in terms of the price. And I would ask you not to do the same if you follow my ethos. So I did mention earlier that the market was a mix of cultures, and it really is. And what we're going to see, though, today is a lot of the very first culture that was ever here. We're going to see lots of aspects of that culture. For example, these are tamalitas. They're a traditional Mayan dish. They husk the corn, they grind it down, they wrap it in the corn leaf, and then boil it. Okay, it's called tamalitos, and it is a traditional Mayan dish. Now, the Mayan culture, I'm sure you're aware, it's the first culture here. It's well over 1,000 years old. You might think that the Mayans died out. It's kind of, because the Mayan temples are stopped functioning, everyone sort of seems to think that culture died out. It's not true at all. This person here is Mayan. So the people are still here. They never did die out. And so we're just going to buy some tamalitas from her and try those out. So this is a dish that literally is well over 1,000 years old. One thing we said earlier was that this market is a mix of cultures. It brings cultures together. And it sounds, you know, like a cliche, but it genuinely does. The Garifuna culture and the Mayan culture are not at all similar. They are two completely different people, and yet they come here together to buy and sell. So that's something, that's one of the benefits of the market. But even the food crosses cultures. This, for example, this is plantain. Now, each culture uses this for a different purpose. The Garifuna culture use it while it's green, and they use it as a part of their main meal. It's a much more fibrous, harder plant, almost like potatoes, you could say. It's that kind of consistency. So people use it for their main meal in the Garifuna culture. But in the Belizean culture, the more Spanish culture, the Mayan culture, they must have it like this. You might be thinking, why on earth are they selling rotten bananas? This is exactly how they like it, because now it's started to ferment. The sugars are really starting to come out. The fruit is much, much softer, almost creamy. And so they have it as a dessert, basically. So one fruit, one plant crosses cultures and is used in different cultures in different ways. I just thought that was quite interesting. Even the food connects the cultures here. So another thing you'll find here are a really huge variety of herbs and spices. This is literally oregano here that's grown here. And here is cinnamon, again, grown here. And then we have a massive range of spices. Now, these spices usually are not used by the Garifuna culture. They're not a particular fan of spices, but it is used by all the Spanish cultures and by the Mayan culture. Now, we've got our friend here as an interpreter. He's going to ask our seller here how they come about these spices and what they use them for.
Explicar el uso que le dan a los condimentos.
Diferentes clases bajo el sí. Aquí tenemos bastante clases de condimentos, así como cuisine, porridge, garlic, ajo en polvo, cebolla en polvo, perejil en polvo, orégano en polvo. Todos tienen bastantes tipos de funciones de los condimentos, así como eso. Con cuisine viene ya compuesto con consomé, ajo en polvo, pimienta, orégano, el laurel, el thyme. Eso es como para hacer pescado empanizado, darle sabor a cualquier clase de carne, sea como el marán, pollo. El correcto es especialmente como para hacer el arroz amarillo. Tenemos paprika también para hacer darle color a cualquier clase de carne. Y también tenemos que es el condimento especialmente como para pescado. Ese sí no contiene los otros condimentos, sino que ya este sí es separado. Y así como allá tenemos la arroz de Jamaica, especialmente como para hacer sus canela, el laurel, el orégano, son diferentes clases de hojas que tenemos aquí. Y también tenemos el recado negro como para hacer la sopa negra o el mole o el chimole que llaman bastante. Y pues otras cosas así como chile pata, chile guaca, como para hacer salsas, darle sabor y sabor a la carne también. Así como para mezclarlos en tamales, en bollos.
So, a little fun fact. Guys. These two, sorry, where are they? Two bags of spice, $12. I'm going to pay with $7, okay? $5 US. The Belizean dollar is pegged to the US dollar, so they accept US currency. It's just literally worth double the figure on the notes. So you can use a $2 Belizean and a $5 US to pay for $12 Belize. So just an interesting fact. So if you are somebody who lives in America or Canada or America, if you have American dollars, just bring them here. You can use them as currency. They use them just like the normal Belizean dollar. I mentioned that these spices weren't used by the Garifuna, but they were mainly used by the Spanish culture and the Mayan culture. Now, you may have thought that the Mayans died out simply because the Mayan calendar ended and the temples are no longer used. But what's interesting is the Mayan people are still here. This is a typical Mayan dish. It's called tamalitas. It's basically corn ground down to a powder, wrapped in a corn leaf, and then boiled. This kind of dish has been used here for well over 1,000 years by the Mayan culture, by the Mayans. And in fact, I bought it from a woman who is Mayan. Her entire family are Mayans. They were the very first culture here. People often think that the Mayans died out. It simply isn't true. They now are sharing their country with many, many other cultures. If you are thinking of coming here to do a bit of tourism, know that you're not the first people. We've got some tourists here. We're just going to talk to them about why they came here, why they chose Belize, and how they found it so far. So firstly, where are you guys from?
We're from the United States. We're split between a few different states, Minnesota and California.
Okay. So is it your first time in Belize?
Yes, it is.
It is. Have you traveled other Central American countries?
Yeah, I have.
This is my first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does this compare to the other Central American countries?
Well, first of all, this is an English-speaking country, so like I speak a little bit of Spanish, but it's way easier to
Totally.
navigate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's really nice, and I think just the language barrier makes
Right.
it much easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And people are friendly everywhere, but I've noticed people are like exceptionally friendly here.
Yeah, that's what I found, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So how long have you been here?
We've been here for 3 days now?
Yeah.
So not too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and what have you done so far?
so many things. We packed the trip. We went on a whole ruin adventure the first day that we were here. So there's one ruin that's here, very local, easy to visit. And then we went to one about 30 minutes away, which was great. And then yesterday we did an ATM cave tour, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was wild. If you visit, you have to do that.
Yeah, we had no idea what we were getting into because you can't take pictures in the cave. So there's nothing online with what we were going to expect, and it was amazing. It was probably the highlight of our trip.
And our guide kept saying if this were in any other country, you wouldn't be able to get as close as you can. And that really was true. Like when you were in the cave, you were standing next to, ancient Mayan ruins, which is unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it was great. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I was quite ignorant. I did think the Mayan culture died out.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I
had
that realization too.
Everybody says that they disappeared and we don't know what happened, and then that's simply untrue. Like we know exactly what happened, and I didn't realize they lasted all the way through like colonization, and so Mayans interact, and there are still Mayan people today, which I was like, we really the PR for the Mayans.
I know. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, I mean they're still here.
Yeah.
There are markets here that are Mayan markets. They're Mayan families selling Mayan products. They're still here.
Yeah.
So that's quite an interesting point.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for your time, guys. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Good luck.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Cheers. Okay, so just talking to some of the tourists here, and they've all said the same thing that I found. I've been here for 3 months, and I have literally been through most of Central America, the Far East, the Middle East, Africa, obviously lots of Europe, and these are some of the most friendly people I've met. They really are. In fact, my mum's Irish. They're like the Irish. They're just really welcoming, really warm and friendly. And as a country that welcomes cultures, there's nothing better than this. So I'm glad they found the same thing that I did. That Belize is well worth a visit. So that side of the market we've just seen is where all the raw produce is, all the fruit and veg, including things like the spices. We mentioned the ricotta, that red spice. Well, they use that red spice here for the stewed chicken and the rice and beans. This side of the market is where they have the more like the kind of cafe style food. So you can just basically come here and just eat. And to give you an idea of the value for money, rice, beans and stewed chicken, $8. That's $8 Belize. $4 US, and you'll get a decent sized portion for that. Rice, beans, chicken, $4. Okay, so it's not only a great place to come shopping for your own raw produce. This is a great place to come and eat. Honestly, you won't get better value for money anywhere. Nowhere I've been on the planet is better value for money than this. Okay, so I can't tell you. I've been looking for one of these for ages because that neck cover is a godsend. I've got a really good Tilly hat, and they are really good. But there are times when you're looking at your phone, that kind of stuff, and your neck is exposed. And man, the sun here, that's the one thing. I love the heat, but the sun never gives up here. It really doesn't. So this kind of thing, I'm not sure. You tell me. Is this, how does it look? Come on. Your honest opinion. The camera crew says it's a good fit. I'm going to buy it because honestly, I'm not kidding. I can't tell you. My neck is sunburned beyond belief. So this is definitely going to be a purchase. Please. Now, as I mentioned before, you do need the hat to protect you from the sun, but something else you need is electrolytes, please. The coconut water.
Okay.
Coconut. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's good. It's good. Thank you. Okay. So, coconut water. It's full of electrolytes, and you do need it here because, frankly, you sweat like a swamp donkey. It's one of the few things about Belize and most of Central America that it's just you have to get used to that. But do remember, not just water. Have your electrolytes, but otherwise you basically start to get muscle cramps and that kind of thing. Okay. So I've got my hat, and again, nothing wrong with Tilly. Tilly's a great hat. We're not sponsored, but this. With that back flap, I'm not kidding, it really is a lifesaver. So I will be using that for most of the shoot. Now, we've seen fruit and veg. We've seen the cafe style spots here where you can eat food, buy clothing. Also, you can buy meat. You notice here, this is Goro's quality meat, okay? So they sell pork, chicken, beef, and there are several of these shops here that sell different kinds of meat. So this is more that, as I say, as it says, pork, chicken, and beef. Here you have kind of the much more beef than chicken. And if you're really adventurous, you could try something like this. Of course, your stew beef, your T-bone, your tenderloin, but how about your pig feet, your pork head, that kind of thing? Fancy a bit of pork head for dinner? Well, if you do, there's a place to get it. So, we mentioned again the many different cultures. Let me get this hat off down here. The many different cultures that we have here in the market. This is an El Salvadorian family, and they're making a typical El Salvadorian dish, pupusa. There are different kinds. Some are just cheese, some are cheese and beans, some are cheese, beans and meat. So 3 different styles, but this is an El Salvadorian dish made by El Salvadorian people. So again, it's a really nice example of the various cultures that just come here and mix. I'm trying not to be offended because we're looking at shoes. The shoe shop right here, looking at different shoes. And I thought these ones are really practical, okay? For 2 reasons. Firstly, there's lots of space, lots of air, which honestly in Central America, that's a godsend. But secondly, with the toe, you know, that protected toe, if you are going to be doing things like climbing, bit of trekking, having a protected toe is essential. I don't know if you've ever tried trekking in trekking sandals. You just stub your toe once and it's game over. This I thought would be very practical. And I was told people my age always buy this kind of stuff. First of all, really? People my age? 25-year-old? So I'm embarrassed to be people my age, and I'm not sure why she pointed that out, but she did. Now, this is $50 Belize, 25 US. No, it was what was it? 50 Belize. It was 50 Belize, 25 US. And they actually are really well made. You have to be careful. You've got to be careful because not everything is well made. But some of the stuff, again, is basically handmade. And so the stitching is for real. The rubber is not going to go anywhere. So these will last a long time. And again, you know, in Europe, something like that would cost you easily 70, 80 euros, easily, probably more. So this is $25. You know, they're really good. And so for people my age, this is the place to come and buy your footwear. Thank you. Okay. So this market really does have everything. You've seen the fresh fruit and veg. You've seen the cafe style places where they sell food to eat, the meat, the clothing. I'm committing the unforgivable sin, socks and sandals, but I don't care. I'm a rebel. People my age just don't care. But there's also the kind of classic clothing here. This is Belizean style clothing. Obviously not something I would wear, but you can buy things like wire bearers here, which are those kind of shirts that are really cool to wear. And also things like hammocks, that kind of thing. Now, talking of hammocks, most people here have a nice veranda and they almost always have a hammock outside, which is just the right thing to do. So if you do buy a property in the Caves Branch River Estate, you literally drive a half hour to this market and pick up your hammock. So that's it, the San Ignacio market. This is the biggest market in San Ignacio, which is the biggest town in the Cabo region. So I would come here on a regular basis if I lived in the Caves Branch River Estate. And in fact, a top tip, I'd come here on Tuesday or Saturday because that's when the produce is the freshest, okay? By all means, come throughout the rest of the week, but it's basically the same produce, okay? But to me, why not come on Tuesday or Saturday and pick it up when it's at its freshest? So if I lived on the Cave Branch River Estate, this is where I'd come for all of my groceries. If you'd like to know more about the Caves Branch River Estate or any other properties, please just reach out to Dennis or Perry on the contact details below.